All right, hello and welcome back. Don't know why that was a whole thing there. As you can see by the title, this is a art supply, arts and crafts haul video. And I just thought it's a beautiful overcast day. Hopefully it'll rain. It rained all day yesterday. It is autumn here in Australia. And what better way to get cozy than get cozy with me and just chill out and drink a beverage and, you know, look at my art supplies that I've got over the past year or so. It's also baggy jumper weather because it's autumn. Yes, this jumper makes me look like a sack of potatoes, but I'm not about thirst traps on this channel. We are here to get comfortable and just to chill and drink our tea and talk about art stuff. That was really hot. Before we dive right into this video, I just want to say that, like I said, this is art supplies, art materials, whatever that I've purchased over the past 8 months to a year. So stuff that I bought last year going in to this year. So there's a lot of things to show you, but I kind of do these art haul videos very sporadically and when I want to film them and when I have time to film them as well. And here's the thing, I just love watching these videos. Like, I love watching all sorts of haul videos. It doesn't have to be like coloring and art haul videos. It can be, I don't know, book haul videos, whatever. These videos are fun to watch and they're also really fun to film and show you guys. I don't know what it is. All my supplies have come from Amazon. I will say that. Not that, like, there's no links or anything. This isn't sponsored. It's just the thing with Amazon. Like, yes, I know it's Amazon, but it's convenient and it's actually a little bit cheaper. Because every time I go to the art supply shop, it's always that little bit more expensive. And so what I do is I save my nursing pennies, and if I can afford the art stuff that I want, I make the purchase. So that's why it's taken me over a year to kind of accumulate these things, just because some bits are affordable and some materials are on the higher end. Yeah, so I save my nursing pennies and see what I can afford. This is a hobby that has become very expensive, but it's a hobby that I'm just really into. And, you know, I'm a single gal, and when I have my chill time at home after my nursing shifts or whatever, on days off, if I'm at home and I want to chill, I don't really get into Netflix and all that stuff. I'm either reading a book or getting creative and coloring and or exploring other art, like painting and watercolors and all that stuff. It's just a great way for me to unwind, and I can't just sit there and watch a TV show. Like, I need to be kind of creating and, I don't know, just using my brain and my fingers, I guess. Let's just have another sip of tea. Yeah, so I just want to say, if you don't like haul videos and you don't like videos that have too much consumption, then just scroll away, because this is a video where you will see a lot of art supplies that I've purchased. But like I said, it has been over a year, 8 months to a year. Yeah, so without further ado, let's show you my goodies. All right, here we are. We are all turned around. You should see my desk. I've got art supplies going that way and towering up, and things might fall over in a heap very soon. I want to apologize about the state of my nails if you guys do see anything. I've been on like a holiday break from work, and what I've done is I've put on those, you know, those nails with the nail glue. But I'm due back at work. I'm a nurse, so we can't have nice pretty nails at work, so they've had to come off. And unfortunately it does leave my nails a little bit scratched up. So they'll heal, they'll go back to normal, but I've had to put some like nail oil on them and all that, so I do apologize about the state of my nails there. But we'll start this whole video with my coloring books that I've purchased. These have been over the past few months, and I've been on a little like pocketbook coloring book adventure. So they're like smaller coloring books. So I've gone R.J. Hampson, he's got volume 1. I've gone Johanna Basford. This is a more recent purchase. She's just released her pocket size coloring book. If you're part of the coloring community, you will recognize Johanna Basford and some R.J. Hampson as well. I am very much, like I said, I'm very much into the coloring book world and coloring world. It's just a great way to unwind during the day or after work. And my coloring book collection is forever growing. Yes, but it's just a hobby that makes me happy. So this is volume 2. This is R.J. Hampson, and this is volume 3. This is a more recent release of R.J. Hampson as well. And you've got like themes with these. So volume 2 is houses, dragons, oceans, knickknacks and Christmas. Volume 1 was birds, bugs, bees, blooms, animals, snails. And volume 3 is an anthology of ridiculous tales. And then, of course, for Easter this year, I had to buy a Cozy Girl Easter colouring book. These cozy books are everywhere. They are so popular in the colouring world, all over TikTok and YouTube, but they are popular for a reason. They, again, like I say, these are a great way to unwind and get your pencils or markers and just do some fun, creative, cozy colouring. So hopefully I can dig into these books really soon. The next purchase I made was crayons. So these are off Amazon, just like the books were. So this is 120 crayons. Do I need this many crayons? Probably not. And it comes with a little sharpener as well, so I couldn't help myself there. But again, crayons, I mean, I've got packets of crayons, but these are so nostalgic for me every time I use the Crayola crayons. Oh, you can just, I wish you guys could smell through the camera, because these crayons just smell so waxy and delicious. I don't know if that makes me messed up, but they smell really good. Yeah, so there's 120 colors to choose. But for a while, I've also wanted to get the retired color crayons. So these are 8, out of cycle crayons. And the colors you get, so you get the Dandelion, you get Blizz, Magic Mint, or Blizzard Blue, Magic Mint, Lemon Yellow, Violet Blue, Orange Red, Mulberry, and Raw Umber. These were actually a little bit on the pricier side, but again, this was, I did save my nursing pennies for these, and that's the colors you get there. That's pretty cool. Nice retro crayons. And Crayola, I love Crayola products. Like, I've got a whole box of Crayola products, and they are just so much fun to use every time. I bought a set of watercolors. This is the Derwent pastel pan set. I do have another Derwent pan set. I think it's just, you know, your basic 12 colors, but these are pastels because I'm a sucker for pastels. I have done a previous video filming me using these pastels for the first time and me actually testing them out in one of the coloring books, and they are just beautiful, and you can't really go wrong with pastel colors. So yeah, these are good. I've used these a few times actually. Okay, the next thing here is I finally bought a case for all my fountain pens. This is another stationery art supply journey that I'm on. It's one that I'm deeply involved in now. So every now and then I do like to buy fountain pens, and this is my collection that I have so far. So this has been over a few years. Some pens are cheaper than others, but every single pen just works beautifully. Like I've got Jin Hao, I've got Asveen, Wordsworth pens, Ferris-Wheel Press. But my most recent pen purchase is these ones and this one, and I'll get them out so I can show you properly. So it's these 3 TWSBI fountain pens, and these are more on the pricier side that I've paid for my pens, but I'm slowly investing in good pens and just building my collection. I haven't purchased any more ink because I have enough ink to last me a lifetime, and I've done swatch videos on my YouTube. But these the TWSBI are just so beautiful to write with. So this is the espresso one. If it's going to be coffee named, like I think this one's the latte TWSBI, this one's espresso, and this one's matcha. Like if they're going to be named after tea and coffee and drinks, I'm a sucker for that. But these are just gorgeous and so smooth and elegant to write with. I'm currently using my espresso TWSBI with a bit of sepia ink. I'll try and get that in focus. This is my pen for March. I kind of rotate inks and pens every month so I get a good feel for the pens for the month. I don't know, it's just my system that I have for the fountain pens and it works for me. But these are, oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed with these at the minute. Like, they're just beautiful pens. And of course, you know, once you spot one pen, there's always a forever growing wish list. But I'm so excited that I finally own these 3 pens. Like, I'm just so grateful that I can save my nursing pennies and actually make the purchase of these pens. Well, you know what? I'm just grateful that I can make the purchase to, you know, buy these art supplies as well. Now, branching off from, oh, actually, let's go this little thing here. This was a purchase last year. This is a JDSI pencil sharpener, and it is been so good for my pencils. It's one of those electric pencil sharpeners. I've never had an electric pencil sharpener before, and this has saved my bacon when I'm using my color pencils and coloring with them. You've got 3 different settings you can set your color pencils to, and you've got the bin in there to collect all the sharpenings. And I couldn't help myself because it was astronaut. It had an astronaut cartoon picture on there. So this was the coolest thing that I've bought. Well, not the coolest thing that I bought. Everything's cool, but this sharpener has been so good. It is a little bit loud, so when I do film my coloring videos, I tend to cut this out because it can be loud, but it doesn't matter. It just sharpens my pencils really beautifully. So this is definitely worth a mention here, and I found this again off Amazon. Now the next lot of things I will show you is I splurged at the beginning of this year, and I bought, so I went on Shein and I bought the 288 set of the, I don't know if I'm saying this right, the Guangna markers, sorry, acrylic markers. Now this might be a bit confusing, the next part I'm going to show you, but these 288 markers are not stored in here. What I have purchased on Shein was, see, that's the thing about Shein, their stationery is so good, and it's like cheap-ish as well. This set wasn't cheap because it had 288 markers, but anyway, so what I purchased was a whole bunch of gel pens. This is the best way I can store these gel pens at the minute until I work out a better system. But these are all the Langu gel pens. So I went on a splurge and I bought, I think there were like, there's like 80 gel pens here, but you've got so many colors of greens and purples. Like there's an option to just click all the pens, and I'm like, you know what? My budget allows me to, so I made the whole purchase of all the pens. And these, I've used these a few times, and they're really pigmented and opaque and smooth, and they're just lovely, and there's so many color options. Do I need all these color options? Probably not. Oh, my cat is like right there. What are you doing? So yeah, the gel pens are stored in here, but my markers are stored. So these are the 288 markers that I purchased. I have transferred them into this is just an Ohuhu marker case because it had the sections and you could sit them up. I didn't like how those acrylic markers came, because they were kind of just all scattered everywhere. So I've color coordinated these into yellows and greens, just because there is 288 markers. And I use these primarily for my color by number books, because the acrylic markers just work best for those books. So I wanted a better storage system for these 288 acrylic markers. If you don't know acrylic markers, they're paint markers. So it's acrylic paint marker, and they're just very, these ones are beautiful and smooth and very opaque, and they just come like that. So you can see the ink, and it's got a really nice brush tip to get in those fine bits and pieces. But that's what the gel pens are good for as well, is you can get into those fine little detail bits. And I'll just show you the books that I'm using these for. If you follow along on my channel, you would have seen me use this book once or twice. These are the color by number, like Hatchet Hero Coloriage books. This is a Looney Tune book. These guys have Disney and Pokemon and Care Bears and all the cartoons you can think of. And for ages I was looking for a art supply that would work best for these books. I tried the Crayola Super Tips, they were too streaky. I tried color pencil, that worked okay. But then some clever little person on TikTok started using acrylic markers in these books, and these turn out so vibrant and smooth when you do use acrylic markers. So these are all used with my acrylic markers and the 288 acrylic markers that I've purchased, because I find that with these books it's fiddly trying to match the color, and with the 288 set, you've got 288 colors to work on. So this is what I've colored so far. And a few of these pages I've done a color with me on TikTok, and it's just so much fun. I am having such a good time in this book. But if you don't know these books, so this is a blank page you've got, and you know, it's a color by number. So you've got all the colors, you've got the numbers to match up with the colors. And like I said, that's where the 288 markers come in handy, because it's really hard to find like 5 different shades of brown or 5 different shades of gray. And so that 288 set just works perfectly for me, and I've finally found my groove with these books. And then we'll move on to some paints. So these are just some apple barrel paints. I was looking for a light grey. That's really tricky to find. So this is the colors that I wanted. I wanted a nice pastel yellow, an apricot, and a grey. So this is from Apple Barrel. These are all matte finish. And then I've bought some Modine paints. This is Burnt Sienna and Van Dyke Brown. So I'm really excited to explore some brown stuff that I'm going to work on. And then speaking of paints, I have bought some, well, I bought some canvases. Actually, let me move these. So just before going into the canvases, right, here's a backstory. I'm exploring the world of textured art. So I bought some canvases just to experiment the textured art. So if you don't know what textured art is, it's where you use like modeling paste, and it gives that really nice kind of textured rough finish. I'm obsessed with textured art, and so I'm working on some pieces that I want to put around my house. So this canvas, I bought the canvas. These are just A4 Modine canvases, just so I could practice. So these ones are not going up in the house. These ones are just practice textured art. It's so I can get used to the modeling paste and how it works and how I can work with it, because I've never actually used it before. So while I've been on my holiday break from work, this is something that I have explored, and it is so much fun and so cool to get into. Yeah, so like I said, these two pieces are not for anything. This is just me experimenting with the modeling paste and seeing how it dries. So with this one here, I also bought some of these tools. You may have seen these around the place when people do textured art stuff, but these are just like scrapers. Ooh, so you can, you know, you can do all those fancy lines, and yeah, you've got all the different edges there which you can experiment with your modeling paste. And speaking of modeling paste, I'll just show you what I use. I've bought the 3D modeling paste. There's lots of different brands that do the paste. This is a litre, and I'll just show you how it is without making a mess. I had to open that carefully because it does get see, bits come off. It does get everywhere. Right, okay. This is how the paste comes, and it is so delicious and fun to use, and it's fun to see how it dries as well. So I've almost used that litre. This was me experimenting with this stuff, and you can get some really cool textures with it. If you've got the vision for it, you can just go crazy with this modeling paste. To go with the canvases and all the painting stuff, I bought some gesso, and what this is, if you don't know, it kind of just primes the canvas or primes the surface. It's good for porous surfaces. And it also is good for like textured modeling paste stuff, because I read that it does help prevent the paste from cracking. With the samples of textured art that I've done, I haven't seen any cracking yet, but you know, it's been a new thing, so I don't know how long, you know, the modeling paste takes to crack, but I heard that this is good just to help keep the paste sturdy on the canvas or whatever texture you're using. So this was just a bit of gesso, and you don't actually need much of it to, you know, paint and prime your canvas with. So that's quite good. These next two items took me ages and months to save for, but they were on my Amazon wish list for so long, and I'm so grateful that I could finally get there and save my nursing pennies for these. These are the Copic Chow. I started first with the 36A set, and these are the colors you get. I went for the 36A because they had more like bright colors. So this is how they come, and I made the swatch card, because you don't get a swatch card when you buy the Copic Chow. Nice bright colors there, which are just beautiful to use. So if you don't know or haven't seen the Copic Chow, they're like the thin barrel. Copics have different types of marker. They've got like the thicker barrel, the Chows are the thin barrel, which sit nicely in your hand. You've got the beautiful brush tip there, and that is like you're painting with alcohol markers. And then you've got a really nice chisel tip as well. Like Copic do markers really well, so they're like classified, if you don't know, as the higher end marker, and you absolutely do not need these markers. Only get them if you want to have a real splurge. I'm not telling you what to do, because I have the Ohuhu 320 set, and the Ohuhus work so beautifully as well. Like, I'm not comparing, this isn't going to be a comparison video, but I'm just saying, like, they're the same but different. My Ohuhus work beautifully, and I always reach for my Ohuhus. Yeah, so this is the 36A set, but then a few months passed, months and months, and I finally saved for the Copic Chow. This is the 72 set, and you get a really beautiful selection of like pastels and a few bright colors. And you don't, there's probably only 3 or 4 colors which have doubled up in the, from the 36A in the 72. So I don't have too many double ups of my Copic Chows. But this is the swatch set here, and you've got a nice mix of like pastels. There's my cat, and bright colors. I'm keeping them in the box they come in until I can find a better storage solution for my Copics. Like, I've got a good storage system for my Ohuhus, which my Ohuhus are right here and they're on display and they look really cool. But hopefully somewhere along the line I can, you know, buy a better storage system for these Copics. But I'm just having a lot of fun on my Copic journey, and they're beautiful and amazing, and you can't really go wrong with the Copics. And for my next trick is another colouring book. This is the Bobby Goods On The Job colouring book, and the Bobby Goods and Ohuhu marker collaboration, which is so cute. This is her latest book, and it is On The Job. I have all of her colouring books, so if you don't know Bobby Goods, you recognise these characters if you are very much into the colouring world. her books are just cute and easy to colour. But she also released the Ohuhu set, which was a last year purchase as well. And you get 48 colours. Some are the same as the 320, but there are also new colours in here. And this is just a cool little colour set for the Bobby Goods books. Well, you don't have to use them just in the Bobby Goods books. These are the colour swatches for the set here. So like I said, you get 48 colours and they're just a good time. You cannot go wrong with Ohuhu markers. And of course, I am a sucker for really nice packaging as well. So it comes in a beautiful leather case here, nice and sturdy for the markers. Now the last thing I bought a little while ago is these paintbrushes, and I have not opened them, but I will get to that. Now these are these are the Bob Ross paintbrushes. Bob Ross is all over YouTube and he is just a fantastic man to watch. If you don't know him, he used to have a television show where he just goes through and paints all these like nature scenes. So he paints like cabins in the snow and a snow forest or a sunset or an ocean. Like, he's so good at it. I love watching Bob Ross videos. They just relax me, but he goes through how to paint step by step, so it's actually easy to follow. I want to try doing a Bob Ross painting, but we'll explore that later. And I got sidetracked and I saw these paintbrushes on Amazon and I was like, oh my gosh, he's got paintbrushes. Yes, they are a little bit pricey to come to Australia. And he says, no mistakes, just happy accidents is what he says when he's painting. And he's always putting trees everywhere, so you get a sticker that says happy little trees. He's like, let's just put a happy little tree over here, and this little tree is just sitting there. He's so great. Unfortunately, he is passed away now, I think. But like I said, if you just YouTube Bob Ross painting videos, they are the coziest, fun thing to watch. And I couldn't help myself when I saw these. I'm just so excited to have some Bob Ross paintbrushes. We have made it to the end of this whole video, guys. Thank you so much for chilling with me and hearing me talk about my fun little art supplies that I've purchased over the past year. This feeds my soul and makes me happy, and I hope it makes you guys happy as well. Ciao, ciao.